We're very no thrills.
Mobile.
Yeah. Mobile is definitely the word actually. We're literally recording with iPads and iPhones.
Jeepers.
We're still experimenting with videos though.
When I was in college, it was Marantz.
Yeah.
We had a big, massive Marantz, and it was just...
We have tried Zooms before, but they haven't really worked out.
Yeah.
Because
And the classic case of make sure
Keep
that your stuff is saved and that you press record.
Yeah, we had a bit of a...
Oh, we had that already, and we had a thing where the Zoom actually, it was when we were interviewing
Michael Lester.
We went out to RTÉ, and it said that it was recording, and we had it in the middle of the table, and then we got to the end of the interview, and it had nothing.
No,
He was
I know.
really use on the inside.
I know a guy. Richie Sadler. You know Richie Sadler.
Yeah, Richie. Yeah.
He went. This is no word to lie. He went to interview Mick McCarthy twice over in England, and both fucking times.
Oh,
Yeah, but Mick McCarthy was really sound, so he eventually got it the third time. I'm actually not plugging my phone to charge.
third time lucky.
Everyone else is, yeah.
I had recorded a fucking amazing thing with Brezzy. That was for a video that I was putting together to promote my book, and basically every time me and Brezzy were talking, I recorded that, but I didn't actually record him. So I was turning the camera off every single time Brezzy was saying something. And it was like he'd given up his time and everything. I was like, oh my god. Anyway,
What are you looking for?
No, I didn't press the extra.
We haven't
half an hour blocks.
technically started yet.
I can look it in over here if you like. Oh, there's some over there actually.
Yeah,
As well.
there's a couple of
There's
little
loads
pubs
of-
around.
In our fancy new student centre.
Yeah.
what? It's very impressive, guys. I'm
It's
telling you.
nice.
Yeah, this is actually our room, isn't it? Our assigned room.
It is,
in
pretty much
in
this
the U.
point.
Is it?
No.
We're not that big yet.
That might be
maybe
strange.
when we start to monetize this podcast, we can.
We did just
buy
kick
this-
some lads out of here, like.
Yeah, we did. We were like here.
We
I don't know what
posted.
you're doing, but we have something more important.
Okay, that's not actually how.
Yeah, we didn't actually phrase it that
Right.
way.
I just want to see. Right, sit.
Yeah,
Sorry,
well,
I'm talking to him. That should be grand.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's-
that'll be grand. Right.
Okay.
Well, are we ready? I'll put my
Yeah.
record on this.
What? Yeah, I think we're good.
Cheers.
Grand.
We don't have to dive right in. We'll do the
whole.
embarrassed column thing. So
This has happened the past 3 interviews.
we're trying to basically bring you down to our level.
Okay.
So we're trying to set the conversational.
That
take
phrase
the piss out of
just has something weird about it, bringing us down to our level, like we're below human
Well,
standards.
Colin,
or
more
something.
shown are you, like, in fairness? So,
Yeah, I
you're
mean,
doing
I'm
so.
quite proud of it, to be honest with you, but
So last week we went to a event in New Bar, the college bar here. It was Sober Sock and Drama Sock, and it was karaoke mocktails. So fake cocktails, of course.
Oh yeah, of course.
they didn't arrive.
But they actually forgot to make the fake cocktails, so everyone got drunk and did karaoke. Column being one included.
Okay, what was your song of choice?
Twist and Shout.
That's not bad. Which version of
The
Twist and
Beatles.
Shout? Oh, the Beatles.
Yeah,
oh, right,
the
okay.
classic.
Just
Yeah.
call him after about 2 cans.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Literally 2 cans.
Of 6% cider.
As if it makes it any better. I'd be embarrassed.
I see a great talk at the party. Okay.
Yeah, well, you know what?
I love it. You really got into it.
Wait for it.
Oh, there's more.
The end of it is really went for it at the end.
You're like a young Freddie Mercury.
Yeah. Hey, that's
There
all
you
I
go.
need. And that is Greg's laugh in the background.
That's the great thing about college now. You've got smartphones to capture all of those amazing moments.
Yeah,
in
Documented
fairness.
Single
for
one of
the
them.
future.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately so. But yeah, now that hopefully now you feel comfortable in
I do
the...
completely. I go to a karaoke bar with you, no
But see,
problem.
now you feel like you can take the piss out of us, like. So,
right, okay.
will we dive in?
Yeah, who wants to bring it in this time?
Gavin.
Go on, Gav, yeah. You
Sure,
can
we'll give it a go.
introduce it there.
Right, everyone, welcome back to In Conversation With. I'm Gavin. I'm joined with the 2 lads, Colin and Greg. How are you, lads?
Alright.
And today... You right, Greg?
Yeah, I was a bit of a mini fit there for a second. Sorry, it's our company. Go on, introduce.
Today we were interviewing hosts of Ciara and Chris on
Chris
2FM.
and Ciara, you idiot.
That's
And
okay.
co-host. Like, come on. We give you one job.
That's all right. I don't mind.
Right, Ciara King.
I've been called way worse than fairness. Hi guys, it's lovely to be here.
Thank you very much.
Because I know this has been 4 months in the making. To get
Yeah,
me out
well,
to see you?
see, the thing is, we got this tip months and months ago about how to get emails. Not going to reveal our secrets, obviously, but it proved very useful, and obviously yours was one that we managed to get a hold of. But then we had our little summer break, and we were all kind of working, so it just didn't really work out for us to all come up to Dublin for an interview. But now we're back in college.
We did manage to fit in a couple.
Yeah.
We got 2 or 3 in, but that was at the very start, and then all of us were started to work full time, so it was just that little bit harder.
It's the problem with summer. But anyway, I'm here now.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. 4 months in the making, a lot of build up to that. Anyways, yeah. So I'll start it like I usually do. What was your initial thought when I approached you to come on the show?
I don't mind doing things like this. I know there's a lot of people that don't, by the way. I'll give you a heads up on that. But even when myself and Chris were working together in iRadio, we used to get messages and emails from people wanting us to help them with answers for their college exams. And Chris never bothered us doing it, but I of course took the time because I was like, I kind of figure if someone takes the time to reach out and ask and looks for help and I can help them, well then I don't mind doing it. So that is why when you emailed, I was like, yeah, why not?
Yeah, very good. And here we are.
Would you like to comment maybe on the wording of the email? Colum's got a lot of very positive feedback for his wording.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, basically, he's referring to, we had Connor sketches. Are you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Connor was on, and he basically said one of the main things that he found that got him to come on the show was how well and respectful the email was.
Polite and respectful.
Yeah.
The email, I was laughing, right? I'm not going to lie to you because your email reminded me of emails that I used to send.
Yeah, exactly.
When I might have been a little bit younger, and I get a good laugh out of that. You know what I mean? You were literally 2 steps away from saying you were sincerely.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But they were very, very polite. And, so well done.
That's the thing, and you very much like Connor in your response, you're like, oh yeah, that sounds great, that sounds class, very much a casual response to a very formal email. But you're
but we all sent those formal emails. I did a master's
exactly.
in journalism, and I had to reach out to people for different interviews and try and chat to them or whatever. And if I were to look back on my emails now, it was all to whom it may concern.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if at all possible. And you have to, and just bear in mind, people are probably just laughing, and we're like, right, okay.
But sure, look, it's...
At least it carried through, because when you met him initially, you probably laughed as well. You were like...
Well, it served you 2 pricks well anyways. Right, so we'll dive straight into it. So obviously you're probably most well known for Chris and Ciara and your broadcasting career. Did you always have a career in broadcasting in mind growing up and stuff?
No, not at all. I wanted to write, believe it or believe it not. And then just kind of looking back over the past 15, 20 years, everything that I kind of did led me onto radio. So I did an arts degree in NUI Galway, and I did English as one of my subjects.
What were your subjects?
Sociology and politics, English, philosophy and psychology in first year.
Of course, you did Sock and Paul.
You
I
did.
did arts in Galway also.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
I ended up doing Sock and Paul in English for my actual degree.
Right.
And right before one of my final sociology and politics exams, it was a really, really hard one. It was what was that subject? I can't remember it now. I've blocked it from my mind. It didn't even make sense. I think it was a political module. I'm not really sure. But anyway, I'd been working in a restaurant and I was drying wine glasses. So the night before my very final exam, the wine glass snapped and dug into my finger here. You can actually still see the scar.
I got one too, look.
Yeah. You can still
Cracked
see
at the stem and it dug right in.
Oh my god.
You're like the same person.
Yeah, this is weird.
We went to Galway together.
Yeah, anyway, Galway.
Stop flirting.
Can we just drop Chris now? And just...
Yeah. Oh, I've wanted to drop Chris for ages. So the night before, I ended up in A&E in Galway until 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning. And I'm right-handed, and I had a big bandage on my finger, so my degree didn't end well because I didn't have time to go to sick bay or any of that sort of stuff. Anyway, I went back then and I did a master's in journalism.
We were talking about this on the way in.
Refused.
Much like David McCullough, yeah.
Oh.
The same, and we think now it's the same course, the Masters in Journalism, that David McCullough got rejected from.
Well,
I
Ciara
remember
also
coming
got
out here.
rejected.
I hadn't been out here. I was actually suffering PTSD when I was walking up here. I was like, oh my god, it's been so many years. It was before iRadio, so god, it must be 10 years ago. 10 years ago. I remember walking up here and I was interviewed by 3 people. I remember there was a guy sitting beside me to be interviewed too. I bet you he actually got the course. He was such a dick. Like, I was so nervous, and I was like, you know, I was trying to make chit chat with him or whatever, and he was having none of it. So I was like, okay, I'm making no new friends today. Went in, the interview was really, really tough, and I didn't get accepted into the Masters in Journalism. But anyway, Galway were good enough to accept me. Thank you very much.
They were used to you.
Yeah.
Is that how masters work then? That it's an interview process?
Not all the time.
I don't think so.
No, not all the time.
I think it very much depends on the course. Like,
Yeah.
Actually, with arts as well, because like obviously we have our course now when we get 4 modules per semester and we do those modules. With arts, because you have subjects, are the subjects like modules, or is there modules within?
no, there's modules within the subjects.
Oh, there's modules within the subjects, and then there's...
I think there's modules within
seminars.
that
Yeah,
module
there's
as
seminars
well.
within the modules, within the
Yeah.
subjects. There's so much. When I think back to first year doing that arts degree, and the amount of exams that I did at Christmas and in May.
Yeah, sure. Like it's 4 per. There's 4
Unbelievable.
modules per subject, and you have to do 4 They've
Yeah.
actually lowered it now to 3 subjects you take on in first year instead
Of
of
course they have. Of course they
after
have.
I leave, after you leave.
And all you boys are doing communications.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I originally actually had arts in UL down as my first choice,
Oh.
and then I switched all my courses to Dublin on a whim.
Well, there you go. Now you're here.
And then
Yeah,
you
it's
EPL call
our
for 2
misfortune.
days.
Look who you're sitting across from and telling me it's your misfortune.
We're vibing here. Get over it.
You wouldn't have sent that email.
True.
Yeah. Exactly.
Mine would have been better.
But,
Probably
but-
less respectful.
Yeah.
You can see people working out over there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just for context, we're in the U building, the new U building, in one of the rooms, and across from the room, outside a massive window, is the DCU gym.
That person looks like they're tiny little arms for that actual weight that they're throwing up in the air.
There's no weight on it.
No, there's no weight on it.
That's an empty bar.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
sorry.
that's
Now
still
I
what-
feel bad.
that's still
I feel like
20
we're being
kg.
voyeurs.
He could be on the way back from injury. We won't.
That's
judge.
true.
Exactly, he should be in
Good.
Him and his little teeny arms. But yeah, so basically did a master's in journalism, and then after I did that I ended up getting a job in iRadio, which is obviously the youth-based radio station down the country. And I was working with a different guy. I was a producer. I'd never produced jack shit.
With
but anyway,
Sean
this is-
O'Rourke, was it? Oh, that was your work experience.
That was my
sorry.
work experience. Yeah. I did my work experience in the news at 1, and I was thrown into the deep end. So in RTÉ, I was like, oh my God almighty. I'd gone from a fun year doing my masters into serious RTÉ.
Newsroom.
When did it
newsroom.
hit you? As it was like you were walking up the avenue in RTÉ
I
by
was
the.
fine with that. It was when they sent me out to do a package. And I was like, and I was kind of new to Dublin City. I didn't know it was the very kind tax driver that waited for me. It was when men were throwing fish into the Liffey because of EU quota laws, right? So I had to go down and I had to get sound bites from the actual Liffey. And I did. I managed to do it. The tax driver waited for me. I came back and I think they were really surprised. But I was so nervous, and I was so nervous the taxi driver waited for me. I can't remember his name, but I'll never forget him, even though I've forgotten his name. But anyway, so then I had my first package within a week on RTÉ Radio 1, which is mental.
I got broadcast and everything then.
I got broadcast, yeah.
Very good. I did something similar. I didn't get broadcast now. I did work experience with WLR/Beat back home Waterford, because of course they're in the same building and stuff like that. And they sent me out to like the local Tesco to get sound bites about like people's school memories or something like that. I think it was just busy work to send me out of the office, to be honest.
Get them out there.
I don't think it was for anything serious.
Well, no one really knows what to do with work experience people, do they?
Yeah, exactly. They're
You
kind of
know?
just thrown at your feet.
And they're
you
just
have
sitting there
to-
on a computer, and they probably don't want to be there, and you're like...
To be fair,
what
they
am I
did
gonna
give
do?
me a lot of like practical work to do. Like it wasn't just like, all right, go get coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I always got sent out doing Vox Pops.
Vox Pops.
For it was a newspaper
Yeah.
at the time, and I remember the first one they sent me out with a photographer, and it was to ask people their views on physically chastising their children. And one man turned around to me and thought I was actually accusing him of physically chastising his child, and there was a lot of cursing my way, and didn't end well. And then eventually I was too afraid to be like, sorry, no, that's not what I said.
Yeah.
And the photographer was like, that's not what he asked you. And then he kind of had a bit of a go at her, and then off he went.
Well, you just sound like a bit of an angry man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
you're going to come across that in the public anyway, and then especially when you work in RTE, oh my God almighty, let me tell you something. People aren't afraid to give you their opinions about anything, from taxi drivers to... I actually got to the stage where I stopped telling taxi drivers that I work in RTE, because I get the... Do you know now what's wrong with RTE?
Is that little prick Chris I hate?
If I never said that now, I
Sorry,
would
Chris,
be-
please come on our show later.
We have reached out to Chris.
We have, yeah. I was chatting to Ciara about that. She said she'd give him a nudge.
I know him, so you
Yeah.
know, maybe I'll have a word with him.
No might be not saying exactly how you know him, but yeah. Anyways, so iRadio. You said you were producing.
I was producing a radio show with a guy called A.B. Philbin Bowman, who works in RTÉ Radio 1 now, and I still see him actually. And A.B. got sick, and Chris came in to cover for the week, and I came on air, and then we discovered that there was chemistry there, and our bosses had been listening. And a couple of months later, A.B. left and it became Chris and Ciara.
Very good. And Chris and Ciara started on iRadio, and
Yeah,
obviously now.
And like, was that the first time you had met?
Yeah.
And, but like,
We'd never met, and the two of us both went to NUI Galway. Both of us had dabbled in Flirt FM. Chris did law, I did arts, but our paths never crossed. So.
And then it just,
And then we end up together in an industrial estate in Athlone doing a nighttime radio show for about 5 or 6 years or whatever, so. And now obviously I'm
quite successfully too. What were your fondest memories then of iRadio doing the show with Chris?
Oh my god, I don't even know where to start.
A lot of the segments you had in iRadio have actually carried over now to 2FM as
well. And obviously we've had to get rid of a lot of them because we're on daytime now on Saturday and Sunday, so you've got a different audience listening, and the show has to evolve. So this is a new show. Our nighttime show is dead and gone. And I miss it. I really miss it, and I love.
Is it still? It's still called Chris and Ciara though?
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's just.
Is it hard to keep it in check though? Like you're so used to doing.
I keep Chris in check, but it's so funny because I can pick up on his energy now. After myself and Chris will be working nearly 10 years together next year. And I know when he's about to, I can feel him. I can feel him teetering on the brink.
When he's about to say something a little bit.
And then the worst thing is when I'm in that mood as well, because that's when we're dangerous.
Who chaperones?
Exactly, because I'm the one that's like, oh no, Chris, let's pull it back.
She's kind of like the Maura from the Two Johnny. Like you kind of played the whole
when they're
disclaimer.
When they're gone too far, you kind of reel them back in.
But then when the two of us are giddy, it is dangerous because we could end up.
Have you had that moment yet on this?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we have definitely.
Any examples spring to mind? There's not the same censorship as you might have on daytime radio with this. So.
Okay, we were giving away some beauty regime or something like that, and Chris was like, Ciara, would you like a facial? And I was like, oh my god, yeah, who wouldn't like a facial? And Chris is like, and of course, I'm like, what? I don't get it. Like, obviously, I want a facial, and Chris is literally like I didn't cop.
And then
everyone out in the production area was just like, Ciara, seriously, you're not getting this, because I had switched my thinking from nighttime to daytime.
Yeah.
And it takes a while, whatever. But so I was kind of slow to that. But yes, there you go. That was
very much our kind of humor.
yeah. So yeah, it was that. But loads of brilliant memories. From my radio, like there was the time Chris Eubank, the boxer, he rang into our show because
he is mad. He's a bit odd, like
he's eccentric.
Eccentric is the word.
And this is a true story. He was getting his teeth fixed in a dentist in Clane.
Okay.
And he listened to the show because myself and Chris had been on during the day in iRadio at that stage, I think, for a while. And he thought Chris was absolutely hilarious. So he rang into the show, and the two of us had a chat with Chris Eubank. And it actually made it into the newspapers as well, because he invited Chris to meet him in Carton House. And they posed for an old boxing photo and stuff. So that was the most random thing that ever happened. Bizarre. Yeah. We used to do really long, meandering links that used to go on for about 20 minutes as well. And the two of us just pulling the absolute piss out of everything. We had lots of strange characters, a load of strange characters on. Like there was one guy, he owned a company in North Carolina where you could basically hire him to fly you around so that you could have sex in the air. So you become part of the Mile High Club. We had him on.
That's really clever. That's a very niche market, but like,
yeah.
If you have ever thought about it, like
a couple $100, there you go.
I'll join the Mile High Club, but then like you look down and you're like, there's always a queue for the bathroom. You definitely get caught. That's
yeah. Then we had another woman on, and she could talk to animals. Then we had people on. Oh, there's the guy from New Orleans was brilliant. He owns a funeral home in New Orleans, and basically they would in this particular funeral home they would place the body whatever way the person who was deceased had wished.
So like there was a boxer, mortician kind of thing. Yeah.
And he was from New Orleans, and he had just had that New Orleans accent. And we were asking about different examples, and there was a woman, and she wanted to be arranged, no word of a lie, surrounded by empty vodka bottles and cigarettes, but like sitting up. Yeah. And then there was another guy. He was arranged in the corner of a boxing ring with his like hood over, like they're dead, but that's how they're arranged. It was bizarre. So we kind of, at the nighttime show, the weirder the better. The Matter.
Sounds like a rare show.
Yeah, we had Jenny the Sexy Nutritionist. She was this woman from America that used to come on and give actual nutritional advice, but then herself and Chris would just flirt with each other. We had there has been so much that we've done. I know you were chatting to me about the wrap-offs.
Yeah, the wrap-offs.
I was just saying to him, I was like, if I were to like ever win an Oscar or Pulitzer or something like that, it would be like something that people would be like, Ciara King did this in 2015. It'll be me doing a really bad version of some particular rap that myself and Chris did at night time. People loved the rap-offs. Why wouldn't people love two white people rapping on the radio at night time?
They're as cringeworthy as they are funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, for me.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And the Galway Player as well.
Yeah.
Galway Player used to be a great staple.
Yeah, the Galway Player would not make it on any nighttime radio show now or daytime show.
I don't think so.
And there was stuff that he used to say that I really didn't agree with, and I actually thought it was kind of dangerous.
He used to argue with him like on air.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah, I did. But now, not a chance with someone like the Galway Player, and maybe rightfully so, because they created a bit of a monster there. But anyway,
one of your most famous segments that has gone on to become a book, Ciara's Diary. When did that first start? Like, when did you first have the idea to read your quote unquote diary?
It's not the most original idea. People have done it on radio, for years, but I've never heard of an Irish version of that happening. So again, because it was a nighttime show, we had so much scope to do whatever we wanted. So I said to Chris, I was like, why don't I pretend to write out my teenage diaries? So we started it on a Wednesday, and I wrote it, and I got really good feedback. It was just nostalgia, just thrown in nostalgia, and teenage issues.
The reason I always really loved it was because it was so distinctively Irish.
Yes.
And like it's that's what I love about it. It's just Irish humour, and it's kind of dry, and it's kind of get it, it resonates.
Because we were all teenagers, and it doesn't matter what year you were born or what generation you were, everyone had the same
I still am technically.
stupid do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Issues. And then when we moved to 2FM, obviously we kept up Ciara's Diary. Ciara had moved into college, I think, at that stage. And then Gill Publishing approached me, and they were like, they used to listen to Ciara's Diary podcasts, on myself and Chris's podcast, and they used to listen to it on the radio show. And my editor actually in Gill Books, herself and her boyfriend, used to listen to the podcast every Saturday and Sunday, and I was like, that's so cool, like, because we put up the podcast, and like, you don't think that anyone is going to listen to the podcast, or you don't imagine people doing so. Anyway, so I got a book deal, and Ciara's Diary came out September last year.
And is there? I think I saw somewhere. Is there plans for another volume?
Possibly,
yeah.
We'll see.
Doesn't look like we're getting the exclusive.
No, we're not getting the exclusive this time. Keeping it under wraps.
Yeah.
Do you have any?
Yeah, let's talk about NUIG.
Yeah.
So, obviously the college bar would have been there when you were there.
It was very much there, and I was very much in it.
Yes. What was your favourite part of the college bar? I bet you it was like the 250 pints of Foster's. Something like that.
In the college bar?
250, yeah.
Jeez.
250.
I can't remember. I think there was a pool table.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a pool table
Upstairs.
down the back. And I think I liked it. You get soup and sandwiches there for cheapest chips.
Yeah. And it was probably quite close to Flirt FM for you as well.
It was, yeah, it was. I didn't join many. Are you boys in societies?
Yeah.
We're in a couple, yeah. We're in.
It's not a thing in Galway, is it? Society life.
I actually tried. I did, yeah. I went to... I don't want to actually give the names of the societies, but I tried 2 or 3 times to go to different societies, and it was like a closed shop.
Yeah.
And
as in like quite cliquey, or
yes.
Yeah,
it was really cliquey, and I was there, I was nice, and I wanted to meet people, and I wanted to experience more of college than just going to bloody lectures all the time. And that was kind of my first taste of not really being allowed in. And I'd come from a secondary school, a tiny secondary school where I knew everyone and all the rest. So I found the first year of college kind of lonely, because I was walking around on this huge campus. I was going to arts lectures. They're full of 300-400 people.
Quite intimidating, and you don't know anyone.
It's really intimidating, and then trying to find your way around the campus, and then you don't really get to know people unless you are in a seminar with them, but then you've got so many different seminars, and anyway, so yeah.
And so you're from Connemara?
Yeah.
Did you commute in, or did you actually live in?
No, I lived. Yeah,
where did you live?
I lived, oh my God, do you know where I lived? I lived behind the hole in the wall.
What? That's so dangerous. Them apartments from the smoking area?
Yeah. That's where I lived, and I lived with 2 brilliant Donegal guys, and I lived with one of my best friends, and I mean the places are like you know, my rent in Galway was just magical compared to the rent that I'm paying in Dublin. But anyway, that's another conversation. But yeah, so we spent...
Did you live there for the 3 years?
No, I didn't. I lived in different pockets of Galway and stuff like that.
But ever in any of the student villages? Or?
No. I liked kind of the freedom of not being in a student village.
Okay.
You've good history with student villages, don't you?
Yeah, I was in Dolores.
Yeah,
and then...
Was it true that there was security, like, checking you in and out? You couldn't bring people back to parties and all that sort of stuff?
Alex and Paul. Alex was... he's a Lithuanian guy, and Paul was an English guy. I actually, funnily enough, I went back, I think it was summer before last, and my girlfriend at the time, her brother actually lived in Dolores. We stayed the night. I think it was like reading week or something, so we decided we take advantage of like free accommodation in Galway. Went down, and he wasn't letting us in. I was like, Alex, you remember us? And he actually did remember us.
Did he?
Yeah.
Did he let you in?
And then he definitely didn't let you in.
There was a time, right, security let themselves, it was rag week, security let themselves into our apartment because one of my housemates had friends and you're not allowed to have visitors during rag week.
Jesus, living in a student village sounds bollocks.
Yeah, well, it was fun.
Rag week was the best crack.
Because then, like, in second year we actually only moved slightly down the road. So it was Cnoughanore.
Okay.
So not probably the best area, but we did have a slight bit of trouble. But our rent was so cheap. We had a 6-bedroom house.
Yeah.
All of us had double beds. There was 5 bathrooms.
Jesus, you're living high life.
2 sitting rooms.
Yeah.
And it was like $250.
I remember.
A month.
Jeepers.
$250 a month.
$250.
What amazing! I know.
Oh, here.
And then like the following year though, we ended up paying $450 a month. Just
Really?
we couldn't get it. That's how quick like the rent in Markle and Galway just.
Yeah.
That's really scary that's how much it changed in a year. But I remember, sorry, you talked about rag week there. I'll never forget there was one rag week. So there's GMIT in Galway and there's NUI Galway.
They're the rare crowd.
Yeah.
And then there was the Novena in Galway. So the Novena in Galway is where basically there's just mass on for the week and people come on missionaries and all that sort of stuff. But the church is obviously near the campus. Anyway, in the 1 year that I was there, I'll never forget, it was unbelievable. GMIT had the rag week, NUI Galway had the rag week at the same time, and the Novena was happening. So literally you had people walking around praying and then people walking around getting sick over bridges and stuff like that. It was the weirdest.
An eclectic mix of people.
Yeah, very much so. Galway's a very safe city to go to college in, actually. So
that's what I always say.
Yeah,
like,
really safe.
I haven't taken to
lots
Dublin.
of Donegal people as well.
Yeah.
Same can be said for
Dublin
here
is
as well,
hard.
actually.
Dublin is hard.
Yeah, like
you have to give it a chance though.
From going from Galway, like where it's like a big town. It's not a city, you know.
Yeah.
And like when you come up to Dublin, like you do look over your shoulder that bit. Whereas
Yeah.
Galway, walking down Shop Street at 2:00 in the morning, 3:00,
I
you
know.
never. And if you did, it'd be someone being like, "What's the crack?" Or
Probably your cousin or something.
yeah, you know,
no, I get
just
it.
mad.
I'm quite excited. We are heading to Galway now the weekend after next for a little trip with one of the societies here. Where I don't know where we're staying actually, but it should be good fun.
It's great. Galway
I haven't
City's
been out in
brilliant.
Galway.
Mm.
Where's your favourite place to go in Galway, Ciara?
God, it's been a while now. Chinocton's, we used to go to, oh my God, where do we used to go all the time? I can't think of the names of bars anymore in Galway. That's how long it's been.
You definitely ended up in the front door. Everyone ends up in the front door.
The front door, there you go, the front door. We used to go to CP's.
Oh yeah.
CP's nightclub. It's now called Electric Garden or something. Yeah. We used to go to CP's back in the day, and like myself and my friend, there was an army corner and then there was a rugby corner. So we'd gravitate towards those particular corners, you know. Because it was first year college and it was ridiculous now when I think about it. But anyway, so CP's was the big one, and we used to go to the GPO. That's not there anymore.
No,
the GPO was brilliant. So now I tend to go down towards the end of Shop Street when I go back to Galway.
That's kind of
the more adult pubs.
Do you ever go down to the West End kind of area, down by like Roisin and all them?
Yeah. Roisin Dub's brilliant.
Yeah. I lived down by just on from there, C Road. My last year, right opposite Kai Cafe.
Okay. Yes, I know. It's near Massimo's and the Blue Note.
Yeah, like literally directly across from Kai Cafe.
Yeah, I don't think I could go back and live in Galway City.
I'd love to.
Really,
I'd really love. If you told me right now, I can have a house anywhere, I'd be calling.
Really, yeah. I guess I get to go home to Connemara and stuff like that, you know. So, I passed through Galway City as opposed to staying it now. But I love Dublin. I do love Dublin.
Where do you live in Dublin?
I live close to Camden Street, so I live like right in the centre. I'm very lucky. I live with 3 girls in an absolutely amazing house. And I've got these amazing neighbours, and I live on this particular street and everyone just hangs out with each other. So obviously this summer was...
Camden Street, isn't that where Bressie has...
The studio.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Brezzy Studios closed. I was actually at a party in that studio about, was it 2 weeks ago?
Very
So
good.
it's pretty handy in fairness.
You're in good company anyways.
Yeah, there was a couple of us there. He's a really good guy. He's someone I've got to know, obviously,
How long have
working
you
in,
known him?
just since I kind of came up to 2FM. Well, I would have known him from the Blizzards and stuff like that beforehand and stuff like that, but he's a good guy. He genuinely is a good guy.
Do you get to make friends, like, let's say if you had to interview somebody for RTÉ or something like that, would you get to make friends with, like, other personalities within?
Yeah, like I've been doing the 6 o'clock show on TV3 for about 3 years now, and I've made friends with some really, really nice, celebrities or Irish celebrities. I hate that fucking word, I'm sorry. Like, celebrities, I think it just means jack shit anymore. Because I think it can be famous by, saying, hi guys, today I'm blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And that to me is just really trite. But I remember, like, I've had all these experiences that I never thought I'd have. Like, Paul McGrath was on the 6 o'clock show one day, and like I never ask anyone for photos. And at the end, but he's such a gent, like he's such a nice guy. And I was like, Paul, is there any chance I could get a photo? And he turned around and he was like, I was just about to ask you the same thing. And I was like, smooth. And then Packy Bonner was in another day, and he had 2 shirts, and he was like, Ciara, which shirt should I wear? And I was like, never in my right mind did I ever think that I'd be chatting with Packy Bonner, telling him to wear that shirt on the television. Like,
It'll really make your eyes pop. Go with that one, Packy.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, so all these kind of little bizarre things. People are generally really nice.
Packy Bonner and Paul McGrath, would you be much into now the...
Love sport.
Yeah.
I love it. I grew up in a sporting house. My dad played rugby, my brother played rugby, my first boyfriend was a rugby player. My mum is from Limerick, so she goes down to Thomond Park in Munster the whole time.
Is it just rugby now, or is it a multitude?
I love tennis. I think if you guys even know anything
Yes,
about me,
bit of Roger
you'll know
Federer.
that I like a little bit of Roger Federer.
Can't blame you there. Like, he's quite a handsome man.
no. Well, and he's a really talented tennis player. More so than the whole...
Go beyond his looks, great call.
And I'm into football. I'm into loads of sport. I just love it. I just, you know what I mean. I
You
just
ever play
like
a bit
it.
yourself?
I used to run. Yeah, I used to run in the
So we
community
did.
games and all that sort of stuff.
See, when we were doing our research, me and Greg were like, and Gavin were like, there's something about athletics, wasn't there, that you had participated or something. But
I did the mini marathon.
Yeah, when we went to actually find anything, it was few and far between as far as that went.
Yeah, like when we were doing our research, I actually found it quite difficult on yourself.
Good.
Yeah, but I have a feeling in the back of my mind, and as I was doing it, that is something that probably was intended. Like
100%. Myself and Chris had a rule that we don't talk about our private lives.
Okay.
And we just talk about stuff that other people can relate to. But both of us would be very private individuals. And in the current state of the way the media is, everyone fucking overshares everything. And I actually don't think that's a good thing.
No.
I don't think that's a good thing. And I kind of got an insight into that when I had to promote the book. So I'm very happy sitting in a radio mic with Chris, and we're having the crack, and we're creating that world, and we're having fun, and it's my job, and it's brilliant. Television I find difficult. I remember when I started the 6 o'clock show, I used to be like, the thought of going out and being on, I used to be like retching. I used to be like, I can't do
I've
it.
heard that a lot, like people saying that.
Television, because you can't, if you fuck up on television, you've got, oh my god, it can go, there's so many ways it can go. It can go all over the internet, it can, you know what I mean? And like everything's a fucking meme now, or a clip, or a gif, or a gif, or whatever the hell you want to call it. But I found, like, I had to push myself with the book. I had to put myself out there, and I found that really, really hard, because I was like, what can I say here, or what can, you know what I mean? You have to, I'm sorry, if you work in the public like that, you have to keep some things personal. You cannot overshare, because I have a theory that it doesn't really serve you well in the end.
No.
And it comes back to bite you in the ass.
I guess.
Wait, hang on. Quick pause.
Yeah.
We'll reset the camera.
Sorry, our
We
camera.
don't know.
Our camera only does 30
We don't
minute
know
blocks.
why.
Yeah.
But it only
I
does-
kind of need someone to do like tax laws, or
Oh, because
if
it's
over
going
30
to be more expensive.
Yeah,
Really?
and
To,
then it's considered a video recorder.
yeah, and
It's
they can
strange.
charge more for it.
But
Sorry,
anyway.
yeah.
So you wouldn't be bringing the social media here at all.
I have to have social media.
Yeah, I have to.
Like, I was off
It's a
Facebook.
necessary evil, I think.
It's awful, guys. I'm telling that straight up now. I think that we are in the middle of a huge social experiment. That's what I think. And I think that the amount of people that are suffering from anxiety and aren't happy and are trawling through Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and looking at these perceived great lives, it's bullshit. It's all bullshit.
I can see, like, on Twitter, yourself and even Chris as well, you're just there to, like, have the crack and make jokes or whatever. Chris has some really weird, odd, niche tweets. Like I do follow him, and sometimes I actually wonder what he's talking about.
I laugh because I'm like, people that don't, obviously I know him really, really well, but people that don't know him, I'm like, what are they fucking perceiving out of this? Because like, do you know what I mean? Chris will put up something like, I'm nude. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
And like, imagine if, like, I don't know, the Taoiseach Leo Varadkar, you know, followed Chris's account or whatever, just as an example. You're like, this guy's a national broadcaster. Oh, right. You know what I mean? But if I only went back on Facebook last year when the book came out, and I really want to delete it, but I may have something else to promote, so I'm kind of keeping
myself. I don't think my profile picture has been changed in about 4 or 5 years. Something.
Yeah. I think I just think it's really dangerous, and I don't really post. So the reason I don't post photos of my friends or on nights out or anything like that was there was a Dublin newspaper that obviously did an article on me. It was about 3 years ago, and they took a photo from my Instagram page, right? But it was a photo of myself and my 3 mates from home who have nothing to do with the radio media. They work in business and they work teaching and all that sort of stuff. There was a half a page photo of my mate in a Dublin newspaper because they thought it was me, because I didn't do their fucking homework, and because they stole it from my Instagram page. And I had to ring her and I had to explain to her why her photo was all over the newspapers in Dublin. And I was really lucky that she was sound about it. So I had a rule since then that I don't post photos unless it's someone that's well known.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Controversial question now. Who's closer, you or Chris, or Chris and Peter?
Oh, God. I think...
The house is on... The studio is in fire.
I think that Chris would 100% choose PDG.
Really?
I do. And I get it. Oh my God.
Has Peter ever come on the show or anything like that? Because obviously they have their YouTube channel and stuff.
Yeah, we had Peter on kind of in bits and bobs and stuff like that. We played a lot of stuff that Peter has done. Peter's great. He's
like some of the stuff from their page, like I often go back to like their California videos or the game of mobile phones. They're so much fun to go back to.
The California, so the street that I live in, the Querminator pops into one of the houses. And I was sitting on step one day and I was chatting away to him, and because we had him on our nighttime show on iRadio, and he's a really nice guy. He's a really nice guy.
Does he get that, like, he was like basically a walking meme?
Yeah.
He does get it.
He does completely.
Is he different now? No.
Because like he was, like, I remember the last episode of the California series that they did, they had him do a segment at the end where it's basically like he was all along watching Chris and Peter take the piss out of the other California housemates. I was like, oh, maybe he actually gets it then.
He does,
But like watching him on the television, I was like, he's take his 2 planks.
No, he's lovely. But so that was funny. That was a weird relationship that I ended up. Like, Chris was like, I'm just here at the Querminator, and Chris was like, tell him I said hi. And people still talk to Chris and Peter about California.
Yeah.
It was bigger, if I may say so. What Chris and Peter did with California Swipe was bigger than the actual series itself.
Oh, 100%.
Which I think is an absolutely amazing achievement, and will kind of, it says an awful lot.
TV3 got them in to do a special episode looking back at the thing and everything.
So funny. So funny. The lads are so funny, and I love their minds, and I love what they create. And I think we were all kind of meant to meet each other in iRadio, and because lifelong friendships were formed and partnerships were formed as well. You know?
Exactly.
Is there anything you owe your dynamic with Chris too? Like, was there ever
a lot
just
of fucking hard work? A lot of hard work, and me and Chris are on the same page. Both of us, we work really hard, and it wouldn't have worked if the other. It would never have worked if there was one person not on the same level. We've always showed up. And we've always been really honest with each other, and we're lucky that we had chemistry. You can't buy chemistry. You can put as many pairings as you want together, but if they don't have chemistry, you cannot create that. It has to come kind of naturally.
They either have it or they don't.
Yeah. And that's it. And luckily, me and Chris had chemistry, and we worked on it. But now we've known each other for so long, it's natural. When people write, reviews about us, they always talk about our chemistry. And there was, someone that was chatting to me the last day. She's like, oh my God, I listened to yourself and Chris on Saturday. And she was like, you've got really good chemistry. And I'm like,
Was there ever a time that he pushed the buttons a bit too far and you were nearly like, here, Chris?
I trust him. Again, that is key. And he trusts me. So I know that he'd never overstep the mark with me, and I would never overstep the mark with him. And at this stage, we've got to the stage where I'm like, Chris, just go with me on this. And he's like, yeah, cool. And he'll go, okay, Ciara, go with me on this because you know where I'm going to go. And we do. I know where he's going to go with it. But no, I've never, you can't, for me, doing a nighttime radio show like that, or when you're in a partnership, if you don't trust them, good luck. Because you need to feel comfortable and you need to feel like the person that you're doing a radio show with has your back. Because if they don't, why would you want to put yourself into that situation? Especially now when we're on a national level.
Yeah.
You know.
And how did that relationship change then? Obviously, when you went to RTÉ and you're with the state broadcaster, and I suppose like
there's a lot of things
comparing
you
to where you had
say
come from, and I suppose the freedom that you had.
Took us a while.
Yeah.
It took us a while, but in fairness to RTÉ, they gave us a lot of freedom at night time as well. You know. They did. I think people who hadn't heard us, you know, those in RTÉ were like, Jesus, these two. I'd say they were probably a little bit dubious. I'd say they were like, what on earth has happened here? And then, like everything, me and Chris are a grower. It's like, you know...
Gav too. Sorry.
You
can't help yourself.
See, this speaks
straight away.
I think this speaks to what Ciara's saying. I was going to bring up the point that I feel like we're still working it out, but we have a very similar dynamic in the fact we know what we can and can't say to each other, and we know what buttons we can push. We're still learning all of it.
Literally every day.
Like you said, like you and Chris have been together nearly 10 years. We've known each other just over the years, so we're still learning a little bit. But I feel like we also kind of
it takes a lot of hard work,
chemistry.
guys. It genuinely does. You know what I mean? But if you want the same thing and you have a collective goal, well then it should work. You know, but then life happens and stuff like that as well.
Ciara, was there ever any mentors or people who really helped you out when you were starting out?
In radio.
Yeah.
In radio. In iRadio, no, it was just kind of learning as we went along.
Wing it.
Tough.
Yeah, it was winging it, like, big time. Myself and Chris have always kind of gone, you know, to the beat of our own drum. And we figured out what works for us and what people like. I mean, there's people that we've looked up to, like Howard Stern, for example. I loved Hamish and Andy.
Love Hamish and Andy.
You know, Jerry Ryan was an amazing broadcaster. You know, and stuff like that. So we appreciate obviously broadcasters, you know, but I love what we've created in the world.
That's who you remind me of, actually. I was trying to figure it out for ages. Ian, yourselves, like your show and Hamish and Andy shows are like very similar in content and stuff like that. Now, I was always trying to put the link there. There's somebody that you reminded me of in like your give and take and stuff like that. It's actually Hamish.
They've got Hamish and Andy have an amazing dynamic and they've worked together for years though. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it takes a while. It isn't just, we didn't just magic it up, you know, we didn't just walk in and we're like Chris and Ciara, you know, it took a while.
Exactly, yeah.
It did.
One thing that you have been quite vocal about in the past, and it's quite relevant now that we have our women's broadcast kind of thing today in DCUFM, is getting women's voices on radio. Do you feel now from like when you first started talking about it that there has been an improvement?
Well, I can only talk about like where I've worked, and I worked in iRadio and I worked in 2FM, and there's always been lots of women. You know, if you look at the 2FM schedule, there's a woman in every single show, which is great.
Yeah, exactly.
Do I think that just because you're a woman you should be on the radio? Nope, I do not. But I think that, you know, we're coming to a state. As I said, I've been lucky. You know, I've worked with a guy. I am a woman. And I work in 2FM, which has women just across the schedule. And not only that, there's women in the production room as well. So I've never seen it. And maybe from the outside looking into particular people, there isn't enough women on air, and it's always predominantly and historically been men. But that is slowly changing.
Yeah, I think it is, to be honest with you, yeah. Lads, do you have any final thoughts?
I think we'll do a bit of getting to know you, Ciara.
Yeah. Getting to know me?
Yeah, some quick fire
Okay.
questions.
Okay, buzz.
So, tea or coffee?
Tea, 100%, yeah, tea. I'm a tea fiend.
How do you take your tea?
I take it strong with a little bit of milk.
Because I see that you have left the tea bag in there, so obviously like a strong cup of tea.
I've been drinking tea for a very long time, so I need a hit, guys.
Do you usually leave in the tea bag?
And
milk, that is disgusting.
Only the past like year and a half.
I think you've lost your spark.
I really felt
I thought we were soulmates. That's weird. Anyway,
I had my number wrote down here to hand to you.
Who does numbers?
I think I'm just going to rip this up there.
You sound pretty fussy, in fairness, if you'd turn a girl down for leaving a tea bag in.
Oh, she's throwing it straight back at you.
It just reminds me of like, I don't know.
Boys, let me tell you, don't be too fussy, it'll get you nowhere.
There you go, Greg.
Since we're going all out, you and Chris ever shifted?
Never.
Ever? Was there even
Never.
like a time where you kind of got,
Okay, get away.
and then you were like, oh,
No.
this won't end well.
No, myself and Chris, and we are like, he's kind of like, I think I'm like the sister he never had, in a really weird way, guys, by the way. Like,
Given the
I
subjects
know
that you broach on the show.
stuff that we talk, maybe he wouldn't agree with that, but no, nothing has ever happened between myself and Chris, I can tell you that now. But we did allude to something once on air, and that was the beauty of nighttime radio as well. We pretended that something had happened at a Christmas party. And we did our promo, we were away, and we did a promo, and it's like, it was so clever when I think back on it, but the amount of messages we got, we're like, what happened at the Christmas party? And me and Chris were like, nah, look, you know, every time it was brought up, Chris got really awkward, I pretended to get really awkward, and we created this fucking world where people were like, something fucking major happened to Chris and Ciara at the Christmas party, like, you know.
It's kind of in the back of our heads from last week, because we had Eileen Dunn in on Thursday.
Yeah.
We had Eileen Dunn and David McCullough.
We had David
on
McCullough
Thursday.
on in the afternoon.
Yeah.
We're like, Eileen, is there anything you can tell us about David? Oh, we slept together.
Yeah. Our look exactly.
Yeah.
What? And she paused, and I was like,
She didn't elaborate.
Yeah,
She just said,
I
slept with him.
yeah, and I said, and your husband's okay with that? She said, yeah, fine.
Yeah.
And she said, yeah, David's wife doesn't mind either. And then she was like, but did I mention it was for Focus Ireland? It was a sleep out.
Yeah.
In separate
I was about to go, what the fuck?
Oh no! If that would have been a thing and we had gotten that hook, like we would have made it. We would have been on national radio,
Oh
on
my
national
God.
TV.
You and Chris out on your
Then
arse.
Yeah.
unfortunately, she had to like elaborate.
Yeah,
so
but then we posed it to
That's
David
very
McCullough as well, and we
he
said,
was
David,
just like
bit
that.
of scandal. Heard you and Eileen Dunn are at it.
Yeah.
And
His arms folded, just like, yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, maybe there is people in RTÉ that are actually a bit of crack.
yet to
That's our tagline for today. Everybody in RTÉ.
Oh, well, speaking of the tea in RTE, we have it on good authority that the tea in RTE is terrible.
Really?
Yeah.
Grand, like, I mean, it's fine.
Apparently it's down to the
polystyrene cups.
polystyrene cup.
Put a bad
Yeah.
taste on it.
I don't really.
We'll get to the bottom of this. This will be a little investigative piece that we keep
Because every
up.
time we've gone, like, now I don't drink tea, but I always get coffee in the canteen over there, and it's lovely.
Yeah. Yeah, the tea's grand, guys. You know.
It's an
Sorry, I don't have enough
It's an investigative
breaking
piece that we're
stories
doing.
for you, yeah.
Ciara, ideal Saturday night. Everything is within your control. You control the weather. You control everything. How does it go?
Oh, well, it's a summer evening,
Okay.
and
Just really painting a picture for me here.
yeah, it's summer evening, and it's a barbecue with loads of hot guys and your best friends, and karaoke music and cheesy music, and just fun and happiness. That's just what sprung to mind when I was thinking that. But I also like big fires and cold nights as well. But it was a long summer evening that came to it.
Okay.
Maybe near a beach
I'll
or
take
something.
the karaoke box anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you've got your entertainment for the night provided here.
Yeah, exactly.
Give him 2 cans and he's on.
2 cans and he's all good.
Human
Oh my God, this is
jukebox.
my friend Colin.
He is not in a cage for any other reason.
That was a bit weird.
You went there
Hey,
not
my
me.
parties are weird. But cool.
Yeah.
Right, fair.
You've obviously never got the invite.
Any guilty pleasures, whether it be music or movies or books?
Oh my God. Well, it's not really guilty pleasure. Queer Eye. Have you watched Queer Eye?
Oh yeah.
I absolutely and utterly love it. I love those boys. I love them so much. I spent way too much time looking up 5 gay men. I'm not going to lie to you. So I wouldn't even call it. But no, I do. I watch it because there's always like a lesson in every episode, and I always cry watching every episode. And I just think the 5 of them are so gorgeous. I follow all of them on Instagram and on Twitter, and I'm like, I like all their photos and stuff. And as my friends say to me, like, here, if you just invested more time in, straight men than 5 gay men, well, then maybe, it'd be a different story.
And Ciara, do you ever see yourself settling down? Like, are you a person that believes in marriage, or just hasn't come about just yet?
I think I would like to get married, yeah.
Okay.
But
Big church wedding, or
no way, no,
small,
no.
intimate,
No.
couple of your mates?
No fucking social media at my wedding.
Well, I actually work in a hotel,
Yeah.
and we had a wedding about a year back, and
I used to work in a hotel too. See, that's another thing.
Ciara,
There you go. I know.
we're going for coffee after this. You're not invited.
Sorry, but I'm just going to bring this up now. She sent me the X in the
Oh
email.
shit! I forgot to bring that up. Ciara,
Did
were
I send you a kiss?
Yeah, you did.
Oh
And
my God,
he
I'm
did-
so embarrassed.
He walked around DCU like a little puppy with 2 dicks
Oh my
for
God.
like a whole week.
Okay, can I just say, and I don't, because you're lovely. I
Colin is used to these rejection speeches.
It's not really. I'm gone red. It's not really professional to kiss to someone that you don't really know. You know what I mean? But I'd just be a really affectionate person to my friends and people that I know, like whatever. And I'd send, even like when I sent Chris a kiss, I'm like, oh fuck, and they were like, accident again, was it? And I was like, yes, sorry. You know what I mean? Me and Chris just send each other emojis. That's how we converse with each other. But yeah, so it was probably
That's
an accident.
okay, Ciara. Thanks very much for clarification.
Oh my god.
Because I was really thinking, I was in there.
Yeah.
I've done it before. I'm like, okay, Ciara, you need to. This is too much. And a lot of the time I've done it by accident. So anyway.
Well, you're obviously a very flirty person, given this exchange between you and Greg. Anyways.
Well, look, it wouldn't be first guess that.
Oh yeah, who was hitting on you the other time?
Eileen Dunn.
Oh yeah,
massively.
Really?
Yeah, undressing me with the eyes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, sorry. Back to what we were saying.
Oh, the hotel, the social.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
At the door, literally, not even like the entrance to the ballroom, entrance to the hotel. They had a box for phones. Leave your phone.
Now I don't know what I leave my phone there because I don't trust people. But
well, no, like the box was locked. There was,
it?
Yeah, it was a little thing that you could slot.
I think fair play to them.
Yeah.
I think that there's a friend of mine who's actually getting married at Christmas, and on the wedding invitations it was like, please do not post any photos of our wedding to social media. And I think that people are well within their fucking rights to do that. You know.
Actually, the last wedding I went to, like even going down the aisle in the church, it was like people were watching it through Snapchat.
Guys, where was I last night?
I seen your tweet. Yeah.
I was at the Macnas parade, right? I'm from Galway. Macnas are a huge theatre company from Galway. They're absolutely incredible. I've been going to parades since I was a kid, And I was there, and we were waiting in line last night for it was part of the Bram Stoker festival that was on in Dublin. And I swear to God, as soon as the parade, these amazing sculptures and light installations and machines and all the rest started coming down, I could not see the fucking thing because everyone had their hand up in the air like that with their phone.
Yeah.
Everyone. And I watched it and I was like, it actually began to irritate me. The man beside me began to irritate me. He just did like this recording and I was like, what the fuck are you recording?
One of my biggest pet peeves at concerts.
Yeah, I was going to say, and I think I have something that actually goes further than that is I've been to a couple of concerts and some people will FaceTime their friends
I've seen that
to show the concert to them. Well, like they're going up like this, they can't even enjoy they're listening to the music, but they're not really taking in the whole.
I've seen many a
no one
Snapchat
wants to
story
listen to
hundreds of snaps just for the whole concert.
Of shitty audio.
Yeah, as well.
And you're never going to watch it back.
No.
You're never going to watch it back. I don't mind taking out footage.
I make a point of actually just putting my phone away when
take one photo, maybe get a little bit of audio, whatever. But like, put your fucking phone away. I just don't get it myself.
Would you be a concert goer, festival goer at all?
What was I? I've been at a couple of things now. I'm going to Kylie Minogue in December. What else? Oh my god.
Me and Greg are going to Florence and the Machine.
Where? No way. When is she on?
Pre-arena, Monday.
No way.
20th of November.
Yeah.
Jesus, I must.
Do you want to come along?
Yes.
You can have Gav's ticket.
Gav, sorry, I'm going to Florence and the Machine.
Oh, we never even told Ciara this. Let's do. Oh no, so I fucking ruined the element of. I was going to do the 2 lies and a truth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
We've already.
That's fine.
I ruined it. I'm a mature student, Ciara.
You're a mature student, really?
Yeah.
Mature is in quotation marks.
Yeah, well, like
only in age.
I'm enrolled as mature.
So
student.
what are you, over 25?
Over 23.
Over 23. Oh god, you have to be over 23 to be a mature student.
Yeah.
Christ almighty.
But you are actually 25.
I am actually 25. Yeah.
Okay.
So you don't have to worry about the age difference. It won't look bad when all the newspapers are, all the paparazzi get us at Florence, No,
but see, I would be very, even if I were to get with someone, I would not be putting it on my social media ever, even if I were to get married or anything like that.
Yeah. Actually, I read
That's how private I am.
a quote from yourself, that like part of the reason that the dynamic works and stuff like this, is because both of you are actually single and you don't have the jealous other there.
Yeah.
Now that's actually from that article was actually from your time in our radio. I think it was about 2014 or 15.
Oh yeah, that was.
But obviously things have advanced a lot since then in both of your personal lives and stuff.
Yeah.
Do you think it would be a factor? Do you think it'd still work? Do you think it could be that slight bit?
Maybe a couple of years ago,
Okay.
It might have been an issue, but not now.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've moved past that. Both that.
Yeah, exactly. We moved past it. Both of us have got older. And you wouldn't really want to be with someone who's insecure. Seriously though, and I understand it, I get it, because of the stuff that myself and Chris have talked about and allude to feel about each other and stuff like that. So I think that you would have to be a pretty secure person, I do. But because it's just such not an issue for myself and Chris, I would find it really hard if a guy was very overprotective of it.
Greg, do you think you'd be competing with Chris now if you and Ciara got together? Or?
No.
You wouldn't feel insecure?
No, that's good. That's like
this is all.
No, I was about to say something off.
Yeah, please don't.
Bite your tongue for once.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lads, do you have any final questions?
Any
for
advice, Ciara? For
It doesn't happen overnight.
Mm-hmm.
You need to work hard and you need to stay focused. And I know it's very easy to feel disillusioned because life is full of knocks, believe you me. There isn't a knock that myself and Chris haven't got. But every knock that we get up quicker. Whereas at the start, it was like, oh my God, that was horrendous. I'll never feel the same ever again. And then life is full of knocks, and especially the radio industry and the TV industry and the publishing industry. So fuck me, I'm like the Muhammad Ali. I'm like... Yeah, I have experienced an awful. Yeah, I've experienced. I'm Muhammad Ali. Oh my God.
Irish radio.
I'm like, you think she's fucking greatest on the radio. Just from experience knocks and getting back up again, like, you know what I mean. Not to be, deterred, and just to keep on going and just focus on your own shit. Never mind what anybody else is doing. Because I think that obviously in the world that we live in, social media, especially in the media, people getting gigs and doing this and winning awards and being seen at this event and that event and all the rest. It's all fucking bullshit. Keep your head down. Keep your just work hard and keep focused. That'd be my opinion.
Listen,
meditate, guys. Meditate.
And that too.
Yeah.
Listen, Ciara, thanks very much for coming
Guys,
out to us
thank
today.
you for having
it was a pleasure having you out.
And thanks for inviting me to Florence on the Machine. I can't wait.
Right. 19th of November, 3 Arena.
Brilliant.
We can go for dinner first. We'll make a whole day of it.
I actually have the New Zealand-Ireland match on the Saturday.
That's okay. I can come. I'm free.
Yeah. Okay, I'll tell my dad. My dad is going to come with me.
Oh,
yeah,
I get to meet the
Meet
dad
family,
already.
yeah.
He's never seen the All Blacks with the Irish rugby team, but like, who cares, guys?
Yeah. Dad, I've met him. He's the one. On that note, this has been In Conversation With. Thank you for listening. Thank.